All right, we're on to our next notes video in the series. This is our 5th one, multiplying fractions. So again, you can pause, write your title, make it nice and neat, underline it with a nice little color. And we are going to focus on rules when we're writing our notes. So what is the rule for multiplying fractions? So again, I'm gonna try to work on writing notes like this for you. So our rule, I think there's only one rule, but also I'll say the rule is, it's so straightforward. You multiply numerators together and then multiply denominators together. Very straightforward. That's all you have to know. So example, you can pick, I'm just gonna pick a random, let's go 2/7 multiply by 1/2. You just multiply straight across and then straight across, and you get, so you just go 2 times 1 is 2, and 7 times 2 is 14. Just like in our last video, we must simplify. Okay, so we must simplify. So you have to look at 2 and 14. What number can 2 and 14 both be divided by? 2, the only numbers that go into 2 are 1 and 2. So we have to look at 14. Is 14 divisible by 2? If you see even numbers on both the top and the bottom, your hint there is always like 2 can go into both. So they both can be divided by 2. And this is where you can use your calculator. You can go 2 divided by 2, well, you should know that one, is 1, and then 14 divided by 2 is 7. These are very small fractions. You're gonna get up bigger. You're gonna get like 60/85. Like you might get massive fractions. We're keeping it very simple for examples, but they can be quite tougher. That's literally how you multiply fractions. You just multiply straight across, multiply the bottoms. That's all you have to do, and then you just simplify it. I'm going to show you a trick. Okay, this is kind of an extension to make your life a little bit easier. You don't have to know this trick. If you don't want to, you can just stop the video right there, and that is enough for you, and you're good to go. If you'd like to know a trick that will make your life a little bit easier, stay tuned. So trick, so say if we were doing this question, the exact same question, we had 2/7 times 1/2. Before you multiply, you can actually simplify. You can simplify before multiplying. Okay, so what you can do is you actually look across. Can these be simplified? Can you reduce these down at all before you go? And actually, yeah, these can be reduced. 2 and 2 can be reduced. You can divide both by 2 and you can make them 1. Again, this is an extension. If you're like, what is she doing? Ignore it. If you understand what I'm doing, follow along. 2 is divided by 2. Okay, because if I were to rewrote this as 2 times 1/7 times 2, 2 and the 2 are over top each other. It's just like having, I could rewrite this fraction as 2/2 times 1/7. It's exactly the same answer. I'm going to get 2/14, no matter what, no matter how I write this. If I would have wrote it the other way, doesn't matter. Okay, that's how multiplication works. So because of that, I can actually make that over 1. Okay, and I can see that I get to 1/7 if I simplify first. So that's just like a little side note, okay? But if you look back here, if I simplify across the multiplication sign first, so 1 and 7 is not easy you can't do anything, but 2 and 2 can. Now you see you have 1 times 1 is 1, and 7 times 1 is 7. So you can get to the same answer faster. It's really straightforward, something small like this, but if you had like a question that was like a little bit bigger, it's like 20/35 times 5/30. Now this is like a much harder, like not much harder, just a bigger question. You can, instead of like going all the way across and going 100 over whatever 30 times 35 is, that would be I'm gonna get out my calculator because Miss Bertrand doesn't want to do that in my head right now. So 30 times 35, punch that into a calculator, is 1,050. And then you'd have to work on how you'd have to reduce this. Well, that's like a lot of work and I don't want to do it. You can actually just look at these and be like, okay, well, I can look at 5 and 35, and I know that 5 goes into both, so I can divide by 5 is 1, 35 divided by 5 is 7. Then I can look at 20 and 30, and I know that 10 goes into both, so 20 divided by 10 is 2, 30 divided by 10 is 3. And now, instead of having that big fraction, let's do the orange path. I can go 2 times 1, my new numbers, is 2, and then 7 times 3 is 21. I bet you if 100 divided by 50 is 2, so I bet you 1050 divided by 50 is 21. Yeah, that's how you get 2 over 21. So much faster to reduce to simpler numbers than that. So that's, again, that's an extension. If you understand this, I can show it to you more in person, but that's just a little hint if you want to simplify before multiplying. But you must simplify your final answer no matter what. That's my little trick.